Good day, viewers and listeners, and welcome to the Progress Report. In this episode, we will look at Guyana's continued leadership in food and nutritional security. Guyana recently hosted agricultural ministers from the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, CELAC, at a high-level meeting in Georgetown. His Excellency President Mohamed Irfaan Ali, in addressing the participants, articulated government's continuous development agenda in advancing the country's food security and, by extension, that of the region, specifically around national security, health, and education.
Today, we are speaking about food and nutrition, but we cannot speak about food and nutrition as if it exists as a standalone in the policy articulation and formulation of our different countries. If we attempt to do that, we'll be doing ourselves a great injustice in this forum. I was asked to focus my discussion on the CARICOM Action Plan 25 by 2025. But I think it will be a great injustice not to address some other fundamental problems that you here, key policymakers and stakeholders of this sector in the region, must confront. You cannot confront food security and nutritional security without confronting climate change, without confronting our education system, our healthcare system, without confronting sustainable development, without confronting the sometimes unexplained disinterest from international funding agencies, commercial banks, and financial institutions when it comes to financing agriculture, food security, and seeing and not understanding the connection between agriculture, health security, and ultimately national security. We need to start ensuring that the world understands that agriculture is about food production, and food production is about nutrition. And food production and nutrition is about good health, and good health and food production is about national prosperity. And national prosperity is about national security. Because if you don't have national prosperity, you cannot have national security. In this discussion of food security and nutrition, where is the health sector? Has the health sector in the different countries, was the health sector in the different countries asked to give us their take on this matter? Because if we don't have a health sector that understands the linkage between food production and food security and what they do, then we'll have a mismatch. We'll not have an alignment of policy. So one of the outcomes of this meeting should be to outline very clearly the role of the health sector in this equation. So we have to have targeted approach. You can't use the same approach for nutrition for the elderly, for young people, and nutrition for children. It is three completely different target group. Also nutrition for women. So we have to design a strategy that speaks to nutrition based on the target group. And the target group must be the general population segmented in different segments. If we educate the children and they become the custodian of good eating habits, then we will be saving in the long term in terms of a healthcare cost. So that is the second issue I think you must confront. Because sometimes people believe that agriculture and food security is not important. And you do not get the right policy space that you deserve. If you look at budget allocation for agriculture, you will see some of what I'm speaking about. How incentive systems are built. So those two questions, I think, I want to put on the table very early.
CELAC is an intergovernmental mechanism for dialogue and political agreement and is made up of 33 nations from Latin America and the Caribbean. CELAC is also responsible for advancing the progressive process of regional integration and unification while carefully balancing the political, economic, social, and cultural diversity of 600 million people in Latin America and the Caribbean. Contributing to this high-level meeting was also Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa, who highlighted the need for the strengthening of food and nutrition security.
Food and nutrition security continues to be an area of concern in the region. The FAO, in the 2022 overview of the food and nutrition security in the region, has indicated that the prevalence of food insecurity is higher in Latin America and the Caribbean compared to the world average. In 2021, 40.6% of the region's population face moderate or severe food insecurity, with women being the most affected than men. In light of the high food insecurity in the region, this forum provides a useful opportunity to update the CELAC Plan for Food Security and Nutrition in line with current context, even as it allows for the national commitment towards achieving the SDG of Zero Hunger. The agenda before us in this meeting will allow us to deliberate on the progress of the CELAC Food Security and Nutrition Plan and how the implementation of the regional initiative like the CARICOM Agri-Food System Agenda will help the region to reduce food insecurity.
At the end of the Georgetown engagement, CELAC countries, inclusive of Guyana, will continue to update their work on food and nutritional security for the region's people. A working CELAC document stated that food security exists when all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious foods that meet their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. The 4 pillars of food security are availability, access, utilization, and stability. It is with these principles in mind that Guyana continues to lead from the front. Until next time, I am Vivekanand Rajkumar.